Special guest of honor, very senior officers here present, the PMC, and the chairman, 27 RI Lagos chapter. Sir, may I apply for a latitude to stand on protocols? Before I interrogate the subject before me, I would like to congratulate all of you that have successfully put in good 32 years in the service of our fatherland. I know that within these past 32 years, you have experienced and went through a lot of emotional turbulences, psychological disturbances, stresses and tensions. Yet God found you worthy to be here today. On that, I said congratulations to all of you. And on the second note, I would like to appreciate the organizing committee for finding me worthy to be one of the people that will not only grace this occasion, but to deliver a speech. I shall be interrogating a subject I titled Dealing with Retirement Issues, Transition from the Military to the Civil Life, and the Way Forward. I choose to deal with this subject because I believe until we understand concept, the operational meaning of retirement, we cannot plan well. So I hope to meet you again after today, and then we'll be discussing retirement planning. Because if I jump into planning, I'm sure that most of you will go home with high blood pressure. And that is not why I'm here. So I will be troubling a topic called Dealing with Retirement Issues, Transition from the Military to the Civil Life, and the Ways Forward. Let me preface this subject with the words of Patrick Foley, who said, retirement is an anticipated outcome of work. Yet, when it comes, it takes many unprepared. This will imply that retirement is nothing new at all. And experiences could tell us that even among children, even among our children, within the society, the subject, retirement, is common often than not as the food we eat. But the problem is with how we understand this subject, because understanding of it varies with individuals. Some see it as a turning point in their life that is full of opportunities for them to take. Some see it as a rejection from their employers, and of course see it as the end of their life. While others embrace it with rejoice, with happiness, because they see it as a new page in their life. It is based on this concern, therefore, that in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I shall be covering operational meaning of retirement, transition, the issues associated with the transition from the military life to the civil life. And if time permits, I will give us the ways forward. Now, what is retirement? As I said earlier, we are most familiar with it, but in content, we always don't get it right. Retirement, according to dictionaries, is a time or is defined as a withdrawal from active working life. I want everybody to underline that word, active working life. According to encyclopedias, where the meaning and definition of words and letters are contained, retirement is simply a withdrawal from the services of an organization, either voluntarily or based on the ground that you have attained a specified age or you have put in a specified years in service. You must all understand that retirement is not a person, but is a process that an individual passes through at certain stage of his work life. So if retirement is not a person, but a process, then retirement is not you. Look at your neighbor and say, you are not retirement.
You are not retirement.
Yes.
Because retirement is not you, but is a process. It is an event that must occur in the life of a working individual. So once there was a time that you were employed, there will be a time that you will have to exit the employment. But that is a process. It is a phenomenon. It is an event, not you. So why should you retire from a service and retire your mind from thinking? Why should you retire from a service of an organization, retire your body from action, from work? So it is an event of disengagement from the service of an organization, not an event of disengagement of your abilities and future. Retirement only disengages you from a particular service or employment. It has no ability to disengage you from your dreams and your future. But until you understand this, when retirement comes, you see at the end of the world. Therefore, it is imperative to dissect that retirement does not mean an end to a person's life, rather a period of transition, phase of one's life. Retirement is imperative for you to know that it is the moment in life where you do not have to worry about doing something. Retirement is a moment in your life where you do not have to worry about getting caught for doing something. Although you are at liberty to choose not to do something. And if you choose not to do something, you will still have the liberty not to worry about getting caught for not doing something. As you are here, I want to announce to you that the letter will ghastly reward you. It is imperative to dissect that retirement is a moment of being your own boss. Tell somebody, retirement is your moment of being your own boss. What a glorious moment. Although, sir, you have the liberty to choose and to decide after retirement to go and be somebody's boy or your own boss. It is all left to you. But I want to submit to you that the letter will ghastly reward you. Retirement is a moment in which you gladly tell tensions bye-bye and say hello to your pension. Retirement is not the end of your life. It's a moment in your life where you gladly sit and tell tensions bye-bye. I got nothing to do with you. And you smile with quintessential look and say, pension, hello. Although you are at liberty, sir, to choose to go home with the pension and with the pension. But I am telling you that it will ghastly pay you. It is imperative that you understand that retirement is a reflection, is a moment of reflection to come up with decisions that you can be retired but can't retire from being great. It's a moment of retrospective reflection that yes, I am retiring, but I cannot retire from being great. But also, you are at liberty, sir, to choose to retire and not to be great. But when you choose that, the latter will ghastly pay you. It is imperative to all to dissect that retirement is just like those inventions that give you the chance with a blank sheet for you to design your life, to become a better version of yourself. But sir, you are at liberty either to use the blank sheet as a toilet paper or to design your life and become great and a better version of you. It is very imperative, therefore, to dissect again that retirement is a moment of retiring from something to have something to retire to. I hope you are getting these things. Retirement is a moment in life that you are retiring from something in order to have something to retire to. Hello? How many of you have something or have prepared something to retire from something to retire to the something? How many of you? That is why I choose not to talk about retirement planning, because it's going to give some people high blood pressure. But with this today, with this conversation, I'm sure if we meet again, we will talk about planning. And somebody is going to have the energy, the altitude to stand and listen to retirement planning without getting hurt. Therefore, once again, retirement is a moment that tells you you are not too old to set new goals. Is there anybody here that is too old to dream a new dream?
Nobody. No.
So when you are retiring, it's not rejection. It's not telling you that your biological structure and body cannot work again. No. It is simply telling you it is that moment that you have to look at yourself and tell yourself that I am not too old to set new goals. Because you are not too old to dream new dreams. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, locally enough, retirement is not an accident. But the last time I checked, many died and were buried in the process. Because you are here, that is not your portion.
Amen.
Luckily enough, retirement is not an accident. But when it comes, so many people collapses. Why? Because you are here today, that will not be your portion.
Amen.
Luckily enough, retirement is not an accident. But when it comes, some people sustain mental and psychological problems like strokes, mental retardation, among others. That will not be your portion.
Amen.
Luckily enough, retirement is not an accident. But when it comes, many homes and marriages got broken. Why? That will not be your portion. Luckily enough, retirement is not an accident. But when it comes, people go hungry, homeless, and hopeless. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, at this trajectory, it is therefore important for us to be compelled to ask the question, then why? Why? That retirement is not an accident. It is an anticipated work outcome. But when it comes, we suddenly lose the ability to face it, to embrace it, and to forge ahead. I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Some of these reasons include: one, lack of demilitarizing personnel before leaving the service. Demilitarizing. Lack of programs that would demilitarize personnel before leaving the military to the civil life. What do I mean? 32 years ago, I know somebody did a visiting. It is either the military visit your village or you visited the military. And they found you good, that you can be remodeled, that you can be what? Reformatted from the civil life to the product they want. And they took you 32 years ago, and you passed through rigorous training. And then the military is able to change the structure of your emotions. The military succeeded in changing your perception, giving you a different way of life because of what they want. And you become what they want. And for 32 years, you are here. You are living that life of the military way. Then suddenly comes a time that you are going home. And no effort was made to reformat you again, your mind, back to your former self before you get home. And so when they push you out, because they have changed you, you go home and then you see that people isolate you. Because the way you reason is different from the way they reason. If there are issues, the way they approach it, you approach it differently. And so people don't get along with you. Because your brain, your structure, your emotions, your psychology has not been reformatted from your former self. That is what I mean. So there is need, before you leave, for the authorities or for you, engage yourself in programs that will demilitarize your mind and civilize your mind, so that when you go home, you don't stay an island. You can fit in and survive. And that's why many don't survive, because the life there is different from the life here. And number two, some of the reasons we don't survive retirement is because of lack of asset. Lack of asset. When we talk of asset, many people's minds goes to money, cash, or houses. But today, I want to submit to you that there are three most important assets that you must acquire before retirement. And one of these assets, we call it financial assets. And financial assets, sir, go more than your size of pocket. It's more than your account balance. It also has to do with those items, with those equipment, with those furniture, with those lands and houses, and any other thing that can quickly be converted to cash when the need arises. They are called financial assets. How many of you have financial assets? You've got 3 years to go. All you have in your bank account is a loan balance. And in the village or in the city, it is the land you inherited from your father that you are taking to give your children. You have no one for 32 good years. Financial asset. And number two, we talk about having intellectual asset. Very, very important. Intellectual asset. Somebody was recruited 32 years ago with secondary school certificate or with a borrowed result. And after 32 years, he is still using a borrowed result. Where is your intellectual asset? Intellectual asset is talking about those uniqueness, the value you can offer after leaving the service, the expertise you acquire, the certificate, and so on. How many do you have? You see, when you have intellectual asset, somebody may not like your face, but because of what you can offer, they come to you and they have to like you. I remember in 1996, during the Olympic program, I remember we have this superstar. They call him Nkano Nwanko. According to the requirements and conditions to become a footballer or a sports star, you must be healthy. But Kano wasn't healthy. All of us know he had issues with his heart. But because he has expert, he has intellectual asset, they have to do with him. They must and have to carry him along. And that is why you will see in all the games, even when he was in Arsenal, you will see that Kanu, they only put him when it is 5 minutes to go during injury time. Because the man with the computer brain is here. And when he joined the pitch, in the next 3 minutes, the game changes. And behold, goals will roll. That is intellectual asset. So build your intellectual capacity, what you can do. And the most important of all, which is number 3, I don't intend to talk to you more than 15, 20 minutes. That's why I hold this paper, so that I can be guided. Now, the most important one of all these 3 is what we call human asset. Say human asset. Human asset. For 32 years in service, distinguished guest lady, chairman of the planning committee, can you answer? How many people have you built for these 32 years? Or how many did you destroy? It is either you are building or you are destroying. How many have you destroyed for 32 years? How many have you, or you become their father, their mentor, their guide, their helper in their times of need for these 32 years? This is the most important asset of all. Building people, investing in people. What is the size of the network of the people around you? And what is their quality? Ask yourself that question. Because I said it's the most important one. We have financial asset, intellectual asset, and human asset. Take away financial asset. Let us assume the economy is bad. And because of the Buharinomic, we are not saving anymore. So we don't have cash. We don't have financial asset. But when you have the intellectual asset and you have the human asset, in retirement, sir, somebody is going to call your number. And one number changes your story. Because you have built human asset for yourself and your family. So human asset doesn't necessarily mean your immediate family. In those offices, how many have you counseled that they become better version of themselves? How many that look at your life and were inspired to become? How many have you inspired to aspire to add value to themselves? Or when they see you, they become discouraged? That is the question. Number 3, retirement, sir, is a moment of truth and facing the reality of life. Moment of truth and what? Facing the reality of life. Because we are in the military and the life there is different. In the military, sir, especially at your level, 32 years in service, you are no more young soldiers. Even in rank, your shoulders are heavy. And so virtually everything you need, somebody do it for you. But time will come, that moment of truth and reality. By the time you live here, you have to get up in the morning and do work for your own self. Because you will look around and the boy is no longer there. Time of truth and facing reality. By the time you go home, in the barracks, you know, even though you don't have money, you can go to the mess and take whatever you want and pay them in the end of the month. You can go to the nappies and do your shoppings there. NEPA or the power, yes, it's being deducted from your salary, insignificantly because you don't even notice it. So you believe light is the responsibility of the government. Time will come that when you go home, you have to go to the office and pay the bills or you don't have the light. Time will come that as you go out, you can anywhere because you are in the uniform. Even where they are paying, you don't pay. Even in the gate pass, you don't pay. But time will come that to park, you will have to pay for a parking space. That is the truth and reality. And when people get there, they couldn't manage it. They can't manage it. And before you know, they fall down and die. That will not be your portion.
Amen.
Number 4, lack of retirement plans. Very, very key. I will just small, let me not disturb your emotional level. Planning. Lack of retirement plan. Because the day you start planning of your retirement is the day you see your name in among the successful candidates to be employed. The best time to plan for retirement, it is that time you were employed. And the best time also to think about retirement is to start thinking it before your authority begin to think for it for you. But in retirement, as I want to submit to you that lack of retirement plan kill many. And what are these things we're talking about? Right now as you are here, I know that many of you, if they are being approached, what did you plan to do after retirement? They will have no answer. But the question is, you have to identify and articulate exactly what you are going to do after retirement and where you are going to do them. Because some don't even know where they would go after retirement. You must identify and articulate unambiguously for your own self where to go after retirement, what to do after retirement, and how to do them. Large family size, another big problem. This is a military problem. Maintaining large family size. We are not talking of your extended family. We are saying that a military man ordinarily, to spend 35 years in service, he must have served in about 8.75 locations. That is, every 4 years he's out for another location. And there is this habit of anywhere you go, you marry. So some people have so many wives as the number of locations they serve. So how are you going to maintain that in retirement? That is a large family. So there is need, while in service, to maintain an optimal family size. Because by the time every corner, let's assume now you serve in 9 places, that's 9 wives. Married or unmarried, 9 wives. Plus the original one, 10. And then Paraventure, you've been to UN, either Liberia, Sierra Leone, and then another one there. How many wives do you have? 11. Against which gratuity and retirement. And everywhere of this place you have children. Some places you spend just 4 years, you are living there with 3 children. As if you study Mariology in Depot NA. So there is needs to adjust. Okay. Now, payback period. Time is not allowing me to discuss these things. Anyway. All right. Let me talk on this. And maybe it will be the last one. Very important, and please pay attention. Poor choices of investment and managerial abilities. Poor choices of what? Of investment after retirement. This money you suffer for it. 35 good years. You pass through tensions. You have received a lot of orders. You pass through a lot of crises in your life. And this money is paid. And then you go home and you invest it wrongly. Then what becomes of you is to collapse. So wrong choices of investment is another problem of retirement issue. So one, what are the types of investment you need? Number one, sir, if you go home, don't invest in a business that have long gestation period. What I mean by that, don't go and take your gratuity and invest it in a business that will start giving you profit after 40 years. Because some of you used to make this mistake. You are already at 50, and that money is giving you to manage your life, and you invest it in a business with long gestation period. Before you know, you will die before the business will start giving you profit. And the children that will take over, or the family, they don't know the sweat behind the business. And managing it becomes a problem, and that's the end. Number two, finally. Now, another gestation, wrong choice of investing. It's not just business, please. Some of you, hello, it will not be your portion. But some of you, it is until that gratuity is paid, you realize that your wife is ugly and that she cannot speak English and that she is illiterate. It is at that time you are going to invest in marriage. That is wrong investment of your phone. In fact, somebody will remember that he didn't marry his wife. That will be the time he will pay bride price. With gratuity, a woman that's been with you for 35 years, within this time, you didn't remember to go and pay until your gratuity comes. It's a wrong investment of funds. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I draw conclusion, sorry, Collins, I'm sorry, sir. So, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I draw conclusion to this conversation, you must see retirement as a new beginning that is full of opportunities to take, and not an accident, neither the end of your life, nor a point of hopelessness. Therefore, as you approach retirement, please approach it with smile, approach it with hope, approach it with emotional balance, because you know that surely it must come. So therefore, I urge you to draw strength from these words that I have spoken this day, that retirement is not a rejection, but a redefinition of your life. Thank you, and God bless you. I love you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.